I don't know why I can't hear you. So
There we
weird.
go. There we go. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How
Good
are you?
morning.
How are you, Jessica? It's good to
I'm,
see you. It's good to see you. Brilliant. 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 Wonderful. Wonderful. How are you? How are you? How are you?
I'm doing okay.
All right. Good. You got sorted with the cat?
Yeah,
Oh, good. Oh, good. I hear the voice is still on the mend. Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
haven't fully gotten it back yet.
It's very interesting. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. Yeah. No, I'll just turn you up a little bit and then I'll hear you fine. Don't speak louder because Zoom sometimes makes you feel like you need to speak louder. I hear you quite fine, so
Oh yeah,
not a
no,
problem.
you're
Yeah. All right. Very good. Very good. I don't feel like whispering, which I'm pleased to say.
fine. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
I've
Whispering.
had
Whispering is difficult for me. My voice is not made for whispering.
I've had so many people come to me and
Yeah.
tell me I
Yeah.
feel like whispering. I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
no, please don't. Whatever you do.
Yeah. That's too funny. Too funny. Um, um, this is very exciting. This is very exciting. I'm really glad you yeah. Have you worked on anything, done anything? What you been
I
thinking
haven't
about?
had the chance. My mind has not been with it. I between everything is going on with the moving and the cat and packing. Like our house is disheveled right now because of all the totes and boxes everywhere. But
Yeah.
we're just
When are you? Oh, go ahead.
it's we're moving April 15th, but we're trying to get like everything taken care of, doctor's appointments taken set up so I can make sure that I have everything settled. Um
Yeah. That's what I was wondering when you're moving. Yeah.
yeah. It was we're moving April 15th.
Right. Oh, April 15. All right. You said, yeah. Ah, brilliant, 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 brilliant. Not to worry, not to worry. I think, let's see. Uh, hmm, and I feel like reading a story. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm not sure which story though. Hmm.
Mhm.
What's that? Oh, it'll come in a moment.
Just
You've
more
been
thinking.
working. You've been working because you said people at work. So the voice, you've still been working with the voice, yeah. And no idea what happened. Why the voice just went.
Um, I know that like Thursday and Friday I was feeling like well Thursday I started getting really exhausted just out of nowhere.
Oh
And
wow.
then Friday I was battling nausea all day. And I'm like, why do I feel nauseous? Like hadn't had anything different, nothing.
Hmm. Hmm.
Well, I went to I went to work and I came home that night and I couldn't hold it down anymore, so I ended up throwing up. But like I think from that force of that, it really just kind of messed up my throat a little bit. I
Oh.
don't know
Did
because my
did you
throat
get a
doesn't.
COVID check, by the way, just in case?
Yeah,
All right, good, good.
yeah,
Because that can have strange things I've noticed sometimes with people, like
yeah.
unexpected side effects. Yeah.
It was really weird. And ever since then, I just get tired really easily. So I
Yeah.
don't have like I get like these weird pains in my left side of my right side of my chest, but that's always been there. My throat
Interesting.
doesn't hurt. The only thing that I feel is like pressure right here in the middle of like sort of like the bottom part of my throat. But that's it. Other than that, it doesn't hurt.
Very interesting. So I was sharing something with Sher, which very, very important. It comes up in mood management, but since it's fresh on my mind now, I'll share as well. And this is, we grow up and tension is the enemy. Yes. And that's a big misunderstanding. It is not tension which is the enemy. It is inappropriate tension which is the enemy. There's a very big difference.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very big difference. So the body needs tension to function, to exist, right? Some sort of appropriate tension, much like buildings, especially skyscrapers. They call it tensegrity in architecture. It is that the tension that maintains integrity, right? Without it, the building will collapse. And likewise, if you take the human body and you remove tension, like if you anesthetize the body, it's, your body's kind of heavy and dull and it doesn't do anything, right? It's not something we can't exist in. Even if we relaxed, if you anesthetize to relax, it doesn't quite the same effect, right? So, so the body always needs some tension of some kind. The key is appropriate tension. And in this focus, this is a huge, huge focus and something to really shift in and to say, let me now go and all the places where I'm tense, my shoulders, my jaw, my eyes, back of my head, wherever, right? Lower back, legs, knees, feet, doesn't matter. The whole body, any place can be a repository for tension. And instead of saying, just relax, which doesn't help, to say, what would give me appropriate tension? In other words, if I tune into the different parts of the body, and we do need to tune into them very much like we've got all the programs running on our computer, right? All these windows open and stuff. I've got to click on each little window, each icon to see, oh, what is this? What is this again? What is this? So I see there's a lot of stuff going on. Okay, I see I'm tense, but I don't know what it is. So you've got to focus in on the various parts, particularly in the face, and feel them individually. It's quite astonishing that we could realize, oh my goodness, I'm holding so much there. I didn't even realize that I'm holding it. And like, where does this come from? I'm not feeling this way, but my face is feeling this way, right? So we don't have the emotion associated with it. It's just a reaction to an idea of a should at some point, because we don't have replacements for how to feel. Now, the key replacement here is 2Ds: determination and deliberation. To feel those as feelings, right? As a general feeling. Because when we feel deliberate, and now we are opening, we are in that feeling of choice. But to feel determined, this is the closest name that I can put onto the feeling of intent. Yes? Because if I'm determined to do what? Oh, well, whatever my intent is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that feeling of determination, though, if you take stress and you say, oh, I'm all stressed. Okay, let's take a stressed feeling. Yes. Whatever the stress feeling, and say, change it to determined. What happens? You still feel tension, but that feeling of determined takes the feeling of stressed and makes it relaxed, but yet you have a particular tension in the body, which is the determined tension, which is a much, much more efficient usage of the tension. And determination is a profound way of dealing with stress tension. Transform it, repurpose it into determination and deliberation, right? So this is the key point here. It is to replace the tension, not to reduce it, not to eliminate it. Yes,
Oh,
to
yeah.
replace it with appropriate tension. It's a huge, huge, huge deal.
My,
Oh, so I just want
sorry.
to add one more thing onto this, because I think it's connected to you and your voice right now. And this is that your voice is replaced, not so much with a whisper, but with your girl's voice. Yeah. So Jessica's girl is looking to come out a bit. Yes.
No.
No. Not.
I don't know.
I would though give it some thought and just feel it and say, okay, this girl that I have in me, it's not like something I need to repress. It's something I want to integrate. Yes. So celebrate your girl, enjoy your girl, give your girl some freedom, let her run around. Sometimes all you need to do with attention is just kind of feel it. We repress it, and in the repression you make it stronger. So this a lot of people don't realize. The more you fight anxiety and fear, you're fighting something. You're giving it resistance. It gets stronger. It's like trees. If they don't have wind, they grow to a certain height and they fall over. Right? That happened in that biosphere. Remember the enclosed world that they had? Well, that's what happened eventually. The trees grew up and they all fell over. Right? Caused havoc because they didn't have strong roots. So if you resist something, the resistance of the wind, obviously, and the moving makes the roots strong. If you don't have some resistance to stuff, then they don't grow. So when we repress things, then we tend to give them life. We make them stronger. But also, your girl didn't have a chance to be a girl back in the day. Yes.
Oh, never.
Exactly. Now, we want to learn to be, from a way of impeccability point of view, we want to learn to be childlike as well as sophisticated, both together. Yeah. So this is very important. This is very important. We want to be able to play and have joy. So yes, sometimes when there's excessive imbalance, excess breeds excess. My famous saying, right? Excess breeds excess. So sometimes we need to balance this with a little bit of excess as well. So there's been excessive repression or avoidance or whatever you want to call it, right? Non-engagement. And now it's like, all right, time to just let this go. Because when you let it run a little bit, then it's like, oh, well, okay, something is like, you remember when you were a kid, maybe, I don't know, you were denied doing something. And then when you could do it, it was like, it's not as cool as what I thought it was going to be, right? It was much cooler in the denial. Yeah. A lot of people find this out with drugs. They want to do drugs because they're not allowed to do it. Yeah. And then when they actually do it, not as cool as what they thought it was. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, some people
So,
are like that.
yeah.
I didn't do it
So,
because I thought it was cool. I did it because I wanted to escape.
yeah, yeah. No, no, I wasn't saying for you though. I'm just saying, in general, this
Some
is
people
this
do
is
that,
often
yeah.
the case, right? It's very interesting. So just that this is coming out, it is a good idea psychologically to say, how do I play? What gives me joy? What do I take delight in? Yes. I mean, this is the thing with children. Adults have joy, but how many adults have delight for no reason?
Yeah.
You see my point? So we need to learn to delight in the world. We need to delight in being alive. We need to be delight in just breathing, just moving. Yes, that's what kids do. They take delight
Okay.
in life. Yeah,
Well,
and this
that's
is
what
important. Go ahead.
that's something that I had already done before because I went from, like, I don't know, for a hot minute there, I rebelled like a guy age regressed, if that makes sense.
Yeah, good.
And then, but it was an unhealthy age regression.
Ah,
So, it really kind of like, I don't know, I that was very, very kind of a wild card, if that made sense.
yeah, yeah,
And, but then I
so,
learned how to balance
yeah,
being an adult,
yeah,
but
yeah.
also learning to enjoy life. That's why, like, I do random things, like, out of nowhere, I'll start dancing or something just because it's not,
Wonderful,
it brings me joy.
wonderful,
It's just me being me. I don't ever
wonderful,
explain it to anybody as to, like, why I'm doing what I'm doing
wonderful.
or anything else like that. I
Um,
just do it and
Slow down.
it's with me.
Yeah,
Slow what
yeah.
down? That's
Slow
just how I
down
am.
your speaking. When you slow down your speaking, the voice changes. Have you noticed?
Yeah, it tends to, I can talk a little bit better.
Right, right. So slow it down, change your speaking pattern. Sometimes we really have to listen to our bodies. right? So what was the one of the very first major key points that you put into your dictionary of power that came up? If I remember, it was pacing, yes?
Yeah.
Your voice is now providing you with pacing. When you go too fast, it gets into the whisper. And right?
Yeah.
When you slow down, you can speak more normally, yes?
Well, that, and I'm having to put um, more force to be able to speak.
Yes,
So,
yes. So that's the key here, is now to learn to speak without needing to make that force, to
well, at work,
really
I have
be
to talk kind
gentle.
of fast because customers get a little bit
Yeah, yeah. No,
antsy.
I realize that, but still, in your personal now, it's a change in your internal rhythm. You'll be able to speak fast when you're choosing to, but not as a default. See? So it's first you need to reset the default speed of speaking. Yeah. And also the
There's,
strain with which you're speaking. It's like before you like had so much stuff in you that was looking to just get out. Yes. There was like a pressure in you.
always.
Yeah. But you don't need to. You don't need to get it out. You can, in that way you think it does. You can just absorb it and enjoy it. It doesn't have to get, there's a different way to relate to that energy. I understand that energy, but there is a different way to relate and integrate it. And then you'll see. So when you find your voice, you're going to find a way to balance your energies. It's a very profound thing that's happened to you. This is a capital G gift of the highest order. And it ties in with what I was saying about appropriate tension. Appropriate tension. The whole voice is appropriate tension. Yeah.
It's just sometimes harder to because it hurts more to try and talk. So that's why a lot of times also I get winded.
Yeah. But go with your body. Talk in a way that is the easiest, the path of least resistance, the way that's most comfortable. Not how you think you should speak, but how you actually speak that's comfortable. See what I mean? Let the body teach you. Ah, well, then whisper. Then whisper. That's fine. That whispering is going to make you very thoughtful because you've got to say less and you've got to say more with less, right? So it means that you've got to consider what you say before you say it, not afterwards. Right? Wow. Yeah.
You know how
Wonderful.
that you know how
But
that saying goes that not talking as loud, so you know how that saying goes that the universe will throw things in your way to make you learn the lesson that you need to learn.
exactly. Exactly.
Well, in this case,
Exactly.
it's multiple lessons, not just
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
one.
This is too wonderful. This is too wonderful. But isn't it what you wanted?
Yeah,
You wanted
definitely.
change. You wanted transformation. This voice is forcing that change,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
This is too wonderful. This is too wonderful and incredible. All right. So I think though what we can do is go on to the next session,
Yes.
which is redefining self-conception. I mean, I am keen for you at some point to start doing these, ahead of time. We're doing them backwards now, but all right, so be it. Yeah.
I'll get back there.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right. You're moving and everything. Don't worry too much about it. The key is application. And this thing with the voice, this is application, right? It's a
Yes.
very, very, very profound application. So what's your pacing? What's your timing? What's your rhythm? And realize that, boy, I have to change this. This is a lifelong habit that you are now being asked to change. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So module 3, session 1, redefining self-conception. This is a very, very, very big deal. And this is precisely what you are being asked to do internally. This change of voice is asking you to change your self-conception. This is what determines our voice, our self-conception. Right? That's why language, the dictionary of power, is the foundation. It's the building blocks of your self-conception. Right? It's not there on its own. You see, look, this module, the whole module is called self-conception and the dictionary of power. They go together. This session is dealing with the self-conception. Right? We'll get to dictionary of power. But this is the key point here. They go together. Right? Your dictionary of power is what builds your self-conception. So your self-conception and your voice, it determines, it's all linked together, right? Our voice is so integral. Language is an integral part of who we are. Yeah. So this is very, very important. And you say, yeah, but what about deaf people? Well, they still make noises. They still have language. And of course, they have sign language. It doesn't matter. It's still a conception, right? So its language isn't necessarily verbal. And there's many ways to speak, many ways to have language, right? I grew up with deaf kids, even if they didn't make the sounds, if they just, because some of them learned to speak, which is really interesting, right? It was the town that I was in had the largest school for the deaf in the Southern Hemisphere at the time, and also the largest school for the blind. It was a very, very unusual town. Um, so, we grew up, like you go to Sunday school, they're all the deaf kids, then the blind kids, so you get to see different ways of being, which is really keen. Cool. And they all express themselves in some way, right? That's very important. I played chess with a deaf, dumb, and blind guy, by the way, in the chess club. He would put his hand on my jaw like this, with a thumb on my lips, and that's how he would know what I was saying. Isn't that incredible? It's too amazing. It's too amazing. David was his name. He was a machinist who made baskets. That was his job. A part of the school for the blind, he lived on the premises there after a program. It's too incredible. It's really astounding, how people like that ended up with a life. When he was member of the chess club, this was the town's chess club, not their thing. Oh, it's just amazing, just really cool. All right, so strategic ways of being. This is a very key point, right? So we're talking about self-conception and strategic ways of being. We want to have our way of being be a strategic way of being. All right, so let me move this. Yeah, it's blocking me. Past performance does not guarantee future results. Where do you hear that? Typically, you hear that with like financial things, right? But the new nobility said, nope, this is a disclaimer of being. Past performance does not guarantee future results. When you think of that in the context of financial, well, okay, duh, you can't say just because the thing was working, it's going to continue working. Now, why don't we apply that to ourselves? Your past performance does not determine how you're going to be in the future, correct? Does not. So this is your disclaimer of being, which you can say to yourself, oh, wow, well, you know what? That does apply to me internally. This is like, holy shit, isn't that just huge? Yeah,
It is. Yeah,
it's
it's
huge.
just like
Huge.
a saying that I came up with. I don't know if I came up with it, but I just thought
Doesn't
about it
matter.
one day, and it said that I'm not my past,
Exactly.
and that means like I am currently, as of today, not my past. Just
Exactly.
because of what I did in my
Exactly.
past does not determine how my
Exactly.
future is going to go.
Exactly. Exactly. Past performance does not guarantee future results. Yeah, no, it does not. All right. So choosing a self-conception which deeply resonates with you and which represents all of the key underlying fundamentals presented in this program is vitally important and leads to a deep and profound change of self-conception, which impacts everything you do and are. You are feeling this in your voice, your throat now. You've got to change your self-conception, right? In order to be able to speak to a certain degree, right? It's pressing on you. It's very powerful, right? And, some of the awkwardness comes from the mismatch. Yeah. Very, very powerful stuff. This voice thing is an incredible gift. Power comes from the kind of knowledge one holds. What is the sense of knowing things which are useless? As spirit warriors, we take this to heart, focusing on knowledge which we can apply in our day-to-day lives. Usefulness comes from application. Yes? Yes. Very powerful, very powerful. See that quote there, that's a very powerful quote. It changes my voice when I read that quote. Very cool. Without application, it's all meaningless. All of it means nothing. So you're getting a direct physical reminder for application. You have to change your pacing, yes, in order to accommodate this change of voice, right? Isn't that incredible? You look more relaxed. You look more balanced in your whole vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing? Gifts. For me, every single time I come on Zoom when with a participant, right? Every single time. This is, to me, what I feel is the thing that I need to emphasize, the capital G gift involved. Once we can learn to see that it's gifts, 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 always gifts, gifts, gifts. Incredible. Our aim is a new way of living, one which sees those gifts continually, one which lives with those gifts, a deliberate way of living, one which you choose freely because it makes sense and not because someone is saying it's valuable. No, the hell with what people say. Most of the value you acquire is going to come from application. And thus there has to be some measure of accepting without accepting and believing without believing. Until the validity of this new way of living is validated for you by you. We'll add these sophisticated conceptions to your dictionary of power, right? So accepting without accepting and believing without believing. This is very, very, very important. Yeah, because we are saying here is a promise, right? The only way you are going to know whether this promise is valid is if you try it out. I'm not asking you to believe me. I'm simply saying give it a try. It's a promise. If you try it, it will work, right? Okay, there's some belief. So there's a bit of believing without believing, and there's a bit of accepting without accepting. A bit of trust to say, well, all right, I'll give it a shot, right? So those two are very key, because if we don't have them, we don't try the new thing. We just don't try it. We just don't do it, right? So if we don't have a valid reason, we don't have it. But how are you going to ever learn new things in that without trying this, accepting without accepting and believing? You can't. You can't learn new things because you can only do what you've always known. If you don't want to accept some risk, if you don't want to just try something new, well, just because, right? So this trying new things, we have to take things a bit on faith, right? We have to accept without accepting, which means that I'm not totally skeptical. I'm not totally untrusting. I'm going to give it full stick. So I accept it, but I keep in the back of my mind that it's a test, but I'm going to give it a full, thorough testing. I'm not going to hold back, because if I hold back, I'm also not able to truly determine if this really works. Yes. So I have to give it full stick. And this is also believing without believing. It's very key. And both of those are about, risk and trust, and they're a big deal. So there's a lot to them. They apply in many ways, but especially when it comes to trying new ways of being, this is very important. We have to have that. We have to kind of venture out on the limb a little bit here there, right? These conceptions are strategic ways of being, which enable us to set aside logic and rationality. Without doing so completely, we'll trust without trusting. And in so doing, we obtain value and use without needing to have explanations which insist on a certain worldview. But we are not fools either, blindly accepting and believing just anything. The issue is always value and use, thus applicability. Yeah. So this is about giving things a thorough and honest and legitimate try. Even if we're uncomfortable, doesn't matter. We're uncomfortable because it's new. We're uncomfortable with our new voice because it's new, it's different. We're uncomfortable because it's not habitual. Not for any reason in and of itself, simply because it's different to our usual. Do you see the difference in the discomfort where it comes from, right? So if I'm uncomfortable because this goes against my values, that's one thing. If it goes against my conscience, that's a very different discomfort. But when it's simply against my habit, now this is a crappy discomfort. Yes? I'm just being feeble. I'm just being crappy. I'm just being kind of lame. It's like, dude, seriously, you're uncomfortable simply because it's not the same old shit that you were doing all your life? Is that a reason to be uncomfortable? No, it's not, right? So this is very powerful. So ask yourself this, especially since you are dealing with this, with your voice. What is it that you're uncomfortable about? Are you uncomfortable because of some real legitimate reason, or simply because, well, this is not my usual habit? And, oh, people are going to think, well, what's up with you? You're all different, right? Why people do this, I don't understand, right? When you change your habits, people will say to you, hey, what's going on with you? What's wrong with you? They'll say that. What's wrong with you when you change, right? They'll say, what's up with you? And like I said, sometimes they'll even say it out loud, like, what's wrong with you? I'm changing. I want to be different. What the hell? There's nothing wrong with me. I just want to be different. I don't want to be the same. They don't want you to not be the same old, same old. Yeah. It's incredible. They resist it because, of course, they know that they are maintaining their same old, which is crappy, which is their indulgent self. And they can't justify it, right? So it's like, all right, if you don't want me to change, that means that you can justify you're not changing. No, sorry. Me changing, that's you got to fight your own battles in your own conscience. Don't be looking to me to solve it. So I'll change if I want to change. Very, very important. And to be comfortable with putting yourself out there, to be different, and have the confidence to be able to change. This is a profound skill. This is a profound skill. Yes. Here we go. A spirit warrior goes to knowledge as they go to war, wide awake, with fear, with respect, and with absolute assurance. Going to knowledge or going to war in any other manner is a mistake, and whoever makes it will live to regret their steps. Right? A spirit warrior goes to knowledge as they go to war, wide awake, with fear, with respect, and with absolute assurance. Yes. So we aren't going into things blindly. We're going in wide awake with fear. And we're going to go into these now to say, what do you mean by with fear? Yeah, I always fear a positive here, but we'll see. With respect and with absolute assurance, right? And we are going to this. What follows now is profound, profound, profound perspective shifting. We are going to deeply perspective shift. We don't necessarily feel we're in a war, but we are. We're in a war with ignorance, lack of awareness, habit, should, ego, assumption, ingrained perceptions and beliefs, and more. Shifting to the perception of being at war keeps us vigilant, alert, and paying attention beyond the obvious and known. Above all, it keeps us from being cocky, a death sentence in any kind of war. Now, look around you at the cocky people in the world around you. They don't walk around in the usual cockiness. They're all dull and boring, but that's a cockiness. Why? Because they assume they know that life is dull and boring. Now, if you're in a literal war situation, the person who walks around like and life is dull and boring, how long are they going to last? that war's going to wipe them out before long, right? Why? Because they don't think there's a war going on. So it's all dull and boring. So they're unobservant. They're not paying attention. Therefore, the war will wipe them out. Correct? See what I mean? Cocky.
Oh yeah.
It's an inverse way, or you can just nod, by the way, it's not a problem. It's an inverse way of being cocky by being dull and boring. You're saying, I know how life is. I'm so smart. I know life is dull and boring. Like, hello. Talk about cockiness, talk about arrogance. Yes. It's the most profound arrogance to treat life as dull and boring. Wow. You know what? I think I'm going to add that as a quote in here. That's very powerful. That is really, really powerful.
So
Yeah.
something that brought me back to a conversation I had with Cher about CJ, and she told me that he was having a cocky attitude yesterday. I said, the cocky, I said the cocky attitude is false beliefs. I would let him know that there's a huge difference between being cocky and confident. Cocky is when you boast about it or make it seem like you're better than everyone. Confident is when you know your capabilities and trust your ability to make safe and appropriate decisions based on facts. I said, not just any fact, but tangible facts. I wanted to reiterate that tangible facts because they have to be facts that have been tried and tested, not something that, like basically something that has created that you've been able to apply to prove its validity
Yeah.
in the whole situation. And then we were talking about the things he was diagnosed with. I said, because I've been essentially telling her or helping her, not telling her. I've been assisting, essentially, I guess, um, and learning as well how to best communicate with CJ to get him to truly understand certain things. And I told her, I was like, it's time to stop tiptoeing around things when you talk to him. Like, he needs bluntness. He needs that, no more of the quotes or anything else like that. It's gotta be um um it's gotta be straightforward to the point,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know. Because his brain right now is on operation of black and white. He doesn't
Yeah.
quite see the gray area yet.
Yeah.
But
And it's definitely not seeing any other colors. Yeah.
yeah. So that's why
Yeah.
I've been kind of learning as I go too, but also
Yeah.
just reminding myself that I too also used to work with children that had Asperger's and, other forms of autism and being on the
Yeah.
spectrum and all that stuff. So it's just easier for me to
Yeah.
understand and come at it with a different perspective. And I only share my perspective with her. I don't
Yeah.
actually like
Good. Good. Good.
tell her.
Good.
I
Good.
changed my
Good.
approach when it came
Exactly.
to her.
Exactly. And also, this your voice change. Voice isn't just a physical thing, right? Like look when an actor or a musician or an artist and like a painting artist, we say they found their voice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So voice, capital V voice is a very, very, very big deal. To find your voice is to find your style, to find your resonance, to find your deepness, to connect to your moreness. It's a very big deal. And when we find our voice, and when we get this, when we start to be in tune and integrated with ourselves, we find we don't need to tell anybody anything. Yeah. We just can do, right? And this is a very, very profound point. Very, very, very profound. Typically we tell people because we have some need. We're looking to compensate in some way. We're trying to actually tell them something else. We say, listen to me. I've got something important to say. I'm smart. I'm valuable. I'm useful, whatever, right? Usually the root of it is some kind of insecurity, pretty much. Yeah. I mean, we can follow most things that people do, foolish behaviors, to insecurity. It's astonishing. Causes so much trouble, or
Well, it's also lack of understanding and
exactly.
ignorance as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, by the way, fear isn't necessarily a bad thing. Fear
Oh
is a
no, exactly. Okay, sorry. Keep going. Fear is
fear is a good thing too.
exactly. And we're going to get to this exactly in this, right? Look here. We might question fear in that group. Let's go back to this group, right? As a warrior goes to war as they go to knowledge, or goes to knowledge as they go to war, right? The quote here, let's go back to it. A spirit warrior goes to knowledge as they go to war. Goes to knowledge as they go to war, goes to learning, in other words. Wide awake, with fear, with respect, and with absolute assurance. So 4 things. Wide awake, fear, respect, complete self-assurance, right? Or assurance, self-assurance. So we say, but we might question fear in that group. Why? Would we deliberately want to feel fear? It's not a positive feeling, and we tend to think of it as debilitating. But that's only if you're not a warrior. A warrior knows fear can be transformed into caution, and when used strategically, sharpens them, heightens all their senses, elevates their attention, leverages appreciation, and on the whole, connects them to a world larger than themselves. Caution, thus, keeps us on our toes. Yes. So when there's fear that's behind the caution, because fear is saying, "Oh, shit is real." Yeah. Now, doesn't mean that you don't go into it. It takes like your special forces, right? Actually, if this is something very valuable to read. Some of the writing by SEAL team guys, ex-SEAL teams, right, where they go into the tactics and the understanding the psychology behind SEAL team logic, right, and they're applying it in the everyday life. This is one where they will tell you. They will say you cannot go into any situation thinking that your plan is going to work exactly the way you've planned it. And you have to be prepared for shit happening, right? Because inevitably shit is going to happen and your plan isn't going to work the way you think it's going to work. But you need to be alert and aware for those changes so that you can respond and adapt. And this is the magic of fear. It keeps us alert to say there's real shit out there that can swallow me. Now, that shit may be something like a biggest enemy is thinking that life is dull and boring. What a horrible enemy. Yes? What a horrible.
Oh yeah.
This is really shit to be afraid of. That's worse than, getting injured. Like, all right, you know what? I can heal from my injury, but once I've been consumed by the dull and boring monster, I'm totally screwed. That's the end of me. Yes, life is over. Yeah. So soul stealers, this is this is our enemy. Habits, right?
Yeah.
Bad attitudes, poor thinking, terrible conceptions. Yeah. So this is why we want to have fear, so that we don't fall into that trap. Now, having fear in your life doesn't mean that you are living afraid. A SEAL team member is not being ruled by fear. Yes, they go into that even though there's fear. They still do it. They turn that into exhilaration, alertness, aliveness. Yes, they transform the fear. So fear is a magical power to keep us sharp and keep us on our toes. When we understand this, our entire understanding of fear transforms. It's not a negative, but a positive. Yes? It's a leverage. It's a lever. It's saying this shit is important. Pay attention. Right? And that's it. That's how the SEALs use fear. It says, this is important. Pay attention. And your body is paying attention because your body says, hey, this is real shit out there, right? To be afraid of life being dull and boring. This is a very, very legitimate, valid, and appropriate fear. It's an appropriate fear. To be afraid of arrogance, an appropriate fear, right? To be afraid of foolishness, appropriate fear. Yes.
Yes.
To be afraid of getting stuck in only our shoulds, our defaults, our habits, our conditioning. This is a very terrible fear. Yes. Because that means we're not ever going to get to where we want to go. Yeah.
Yes.
Very, very powerful.
Fear can be our own personal destruction, or it can be our greatest weapon.
And our greatest salvation.
Yes.
Exactly. Can be our destruction or our salvation. Precisely. We are at war. There's no doubt about this. We're at war with ignorance, with habit, with conditioning, right? All of those things are profound, and just feeble ideas, limited conceptions, lack of knowing. This is a profound enemy. It's a profound, profound, profound enemy. Yes. So we need to understand that we are at war, whether we want to be or not. We are. But there's one critical reason why we need to always be connected to caution. Without it, we'll lack humility. Without humility, we're lost. Now, think of those seals, right? The seals were echoing or utilizing Mike Tyson's famous pearl of wisdom, right? All your plans go out the window the moment you get hit in the mouth. Yeah. So the SEALs know this. And if they say, in other words, you can plan as much as you like. But if you don't have the humility to understand that when shit goes down, those plans go out the window and you need to learn to adapt. If you're arrogant, you're going to trust your planning and you're going to die. Simple as that. Yeah. So without humility, we're lost. Self-assurance becomes a liability and a detriment. Caution is thus vital for balance, an integral part of a warrior's makeup. Going to knowledge demands such sobriety. Going to knowledge demands such sobriety because also there is always more, right? So if we don't have this caution, we'll lack humility. And that's very key. Yes. And this will make us rush when we're not supposed to rush, make us falter and hang back when we're not supposed to. So we have to be very, very, very balanced with our caution. Yes. So we are using fear to leverage humility, not to make us not able to act, but it's to use our humility to balance that self-assurance. You cannot go into war without self-assurance. You won't go. But look at those SEALs. They have that complete self-assurance. You can't find more self-assured people on the planet, yes? However, the ones that survive are also the ones that understand you need to have humility, yeah? To balance the self-assurance. There's the key, though. It's balance. You got to have both, not one over the other. You can't have only humility. You have to have self-assurance and humility. In other words, we want to have humble confidence. Yes? They got to work together. You cannot have either one or the other. Yeah, confidence is great. Yeah, but too much of it and you're screwed. Yeah, humility is great. Too much of it and you're also screwed. Yes? So caution, this fear keeps us from being both overly humble and overly confident. Yes?
Yes.
Because if you're overly humble, you end up dull and boring. Yeah? Yeah. No good, no good, no good. A warrior is always in balance. Always. Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
I don't either.
Can you hear me?
I can still hear you.
Why did my camera suddenly go off?
I
Oh, I think it's just because it turns it off when the light is too low. Yeah. Yeah. So And why I didn't change anything on the light. So I don't know why the camera now all of us see. It was probably right on the very cusp. Yeah, I see when I cover it a bit. So anyway, who knows? Very interesting. Interesting. All right, a warrior is always in balance. Caution equal balance. As accountability equals practice. As I practice with accountability, it provides more awareness to use caution. And using this caution creates the balance needed for me to develop more awareness and and the ability to apply more accountability. My self-leverage. Robin repainted. And look at this photo with this quote, yeah?
It's very powerful.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it looks like a war field when you think of it, right? At first, you look like you're in some battlefield, but really these are vineyards, right? Yeah, really powerful, very powerful. So as I practice accountability, it provides more awareness to use caution. And using this caution creates the balance needed for me to develop more awareness and the ability to apply more accountability. Yeah, self-leverage. Wow, there's even another quote underneath this. We create our own balance through self-leverage. And yes, where we are using caution, fear, to create this, we are using those we're self-leveraging ourselves with caution and with fear to balance confidence and humility. Yes, or self-assurance, same thing. Yeah, very, very powerful, very cool quotes there. Shifting our conception, I think actually you can read through it, but don't read aloud. Just read in the whisper, read slowly. I want to just make some coffee. I'm struggling here, but without the coffee. So let me get some. Yeah, you just read very gently. You in my headset here, so I hear you right in my ears. No matter how softly you speak, I hear you.
Okay.
Not a problem. You're in my head, Jessica. You're in my head. Yeah, this is very good. I like it. I like it. All right, I'm listening. I'm listening.
Shifting our conception.
Slowly, 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 please. Slowly.
Shifting our conception to perceive ourselves. I can't hear myself if I whisper.
Right.
Shifting our conception to perceive ourselves as at war constantly leverages us. Self-leveraging is critically important to our endeavor because since we're at war, we're always in connection with strategy.
Yes. Yes.
Levering ourselves is an incredible strategy, critically necessary for dealing with our nincompoopery. As nincompoops, we don't take things seriously. We mess about and fritter our lives away. But even nincompoops act when they're in a war and feel the pressure. We can also use this idea of changing our self-conception to leverage another side of ourselves, our fun and playful sides, by considering ourselves, for instance, as agents of the universe.
Yes. Yes. So we've got a whole bunch of stuff that's coming in here, right? And keep in mind what is the title of this session, right? It's all about self-conception. Yes.
Yes.
So we've got already spirit warrior coming into self-conception big time. Yes. Thinking of ourselves as a spirit warrior. Well, not necessarily to say you need to, but this is a way of describing the self, right? It's been used here. But we've got two others here. We've got now Agent of the Universe and also Nincompoop, right? So with Nincompoop, this is a very, very complex one because one, we want to acknowledge our nincompoopery. This is absolutely critical to acknowledge our nincompoopery. Why? Because if we don't, we're not honest and we're not facing that awful truth that we are nincompoops that need to learn. Furthermore, when I acknowledge my nincompoopery and I say, oh shit, you know what? I suddenly just realized, I'm on this in this continent that's at war. I'm waking up in like Europe during the Middle Ages or something, and it's like, holy crap, this is in the middle of the 100 Years' War here. Shit is going down, and I don't know bugger all about what's going on. I better learn, right? So the nincompoopry leverages me to say, well, I don't know what's going on, right, and I need to learn. So the other side with the nincompoopry is that it's if I need to play, which I do need to play. If I don't play every now and then to balance out things, I'm also going to get lost. Yes. So we need that nincompoop side in us to play. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We need it for balance. So it's very, very, very powerful awareness and understanding. So our nincompoop self-conception is an important one. It keeps us humble, it keeps us learning, and it connects us to joy and fun and play. Yes?
Yes.
So now, when we say, you know what, I'm going to take this conception of agent of the universe and treat it as a game. Yes? Now, if I say, wow, you know what, I'm actually undercover here as an agent of the universe. Oh, wow. Now life gets very exciting. Yes. Even just doing boring day-to-day things. If you here as an undercover agent for the universe, right? Why are you here? What are you doing? What's your purpose? Well, to observe, to see how humans live, to understand the psychology of humans. Wow, what a job. What a task. See? Now suddenly your life has purpose, even though you're doing the exact same things you were doing yesterday. As an agent of the universe, your life has purpose. Yeah? Make sense?
Yes. It does.
Yeah. It's huge. It's huge. It's huge. So simple. Just this change of conception. Now, I'm not saying that you need to use this. I'm simply pointing out how it can be valuable. I'm utilizing these examples to illustrate the power of self-conception, right? Just one simple self-conception to think of yourself as an agent of the universe. Wow. Whether it's actually so or not makes no difference. Just me thinking so changes how I act and behave, right? Because as an agent, you can't make a slip up because then you're going to get caught out and then the game is up, right? So that means you've got to be sharp. You've got to be alert. You've got to be deliberate in what you're doing. No willy-nilly, right? And also, you're looking to not just do the things on a surface level, you're looking to do them with depth. When you're interacting with your customers, you aren't just selling stuff and doing customer service. No, you're actually learning, you're studying, you seeing how people behave in actuality. You're looking beyond, you're looking at their psychology, their mood, their feelings, their actions, their applications, their actual behaviors, how you interact and interrelate with this. You're doing a real deep in the field study, right?
Yes.
This is no theoretical stuff. This is like for real. This is the deep science, right?
Yep.
This is a profound, profound thing. And how do you know you have not been sent here as an agent?
I don't know that.
Exactly. I mean, if you were going to, all right, let's assume we out there in, I don't know, in the Galactic Space Fleet or headquarters on planet 3248, right? And we are planning to send an agent to Earth, right? This I mean, we've always known Earth is around, and we say, well, we never bothered with them. They're kind of retarded over there. But well, we need to study them now, because they're starting to develop space flight, and well, you never know. They might get some breakthroughs and discover wormhole technology, and the next thing they're visiting us here. So we better know these monkeys, right? So now we say, okay, we're going to send somebody out there. Now, how are you going to study humans if you are a complete and utter alien, right? The moment you start interacting with them, even if you may look like a human, you're going to give yourself away, aren't you, by your attitudes?
Yeah.
your mindsets, your habits. So in order for an agent to be truly successful, we essentially have to suppress their memory, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See? So that's the only way you can possibly be an agent of the universe, is to not know your history of, where you come from. Yeah. So if you're going to go undercover, you have to do it properly in this case, because you are so profoundly alien. Furthermore, right, back home, they're monitoring you, right? You just sending this continual stream of data out there, right? If you were to understand a human, you've got to be a human. So now the data that you're sending back to them is coming as if you really are a human, because, well, you came here, you got no awareness, you're starting off the same way as humans do. For all intents and purposes, you are a human. The only difference is you've got this connection back there. And maybe they can restore your memories from before. We don't know. It's possible. Yeah, we assume so. We hope so. But nonetheless, the data stream that they are getting back is that of a human experience. Yes?
Yes.
Right. Now, though, the difference, of course, is that because you have got this one little difference in your humanness, some part of you has this idea that you could be an agent of the universe. And that difference makes you an observer, a student, yeah, a learner, a grower. And you say, wow, okay, well, it's not just that I want to study humans, I also want to be more. So this is part of the programming that gets you to experience the full range of human possibility. If you came here and you only studied the way people typically live, so what? You're still not getting all of the data. You need to discover what it could be. Yes. And who knows, there may be, the odd individual that nobody knew that lived this quiet life on the outside, but on the inside, they were learning and growing and developing and doing all sorts of stuff, right? And they ended up being something completely different. Or someone like Buddha, who was very clearly and evidently something different. So we know there is the potential to be something radically different, right? Many examples, not just Buddha, there's tons of examples, right? So we have to have this as our goal, because if we don't explore that side, we are not understanding humans in their full potential. Because the average is not that what determines a species, it is the exception. Because through the exception, the whole species can leapfrog and change. Yes. And it's the exceptions that make the difference, right? So especially from a threat point of view, it's the exception, right? Those geniuses that leapfrog mankind and humanity, right? And they're not necessarily geniuses, but those, right? I mean, okay, maybe sometimes like Einstein, but also others that aren't necessarily a genius, who've just clicked onto things like Buddha, not necessarily a genius, right? So we can all make a massive difference if the right pieces fall into place. All we got to do is keep persisting. Like with a jigsaw puzzle, you just keep trying, and eventually you put it all together, right? We just got to keep trying. So this point of an agent of the universe, we are looking to understand the entire range of human possibility. Yeah. Because for all we know, for all our technological superiority and sophistication out there, we don't have any spiritual sophistication. So when we look at the humans, we say, well, for the most part, they're a bunch of monkeys, quite literally, right? On the other hand, there are a few here and there, Buddha and whoever, who, many spiritual people across the things, and some weren't obviously so. They didn't go live in caves or whatever, as we think. They were just regular people, but they transformed and they were different. Wow. So maybe they've got something we don't have. Yeah. We've got to find out what it is. Right? There's more here. We're talking about evolutionary possibilities. Yes? That's what we're here to study. Yeah, to solve the riddle of death, as it were. Okay. One second. Hmm. Very good indeed. Our nincompoop side likes to play. And we can use that, especially since play is the best way to learn. Capital L, learn. We are motivated, energized, interested, immersed, enthusiastic, and most of all, whatever we need to learn to facilitate our play has pertinence and relevance to this goal of play. Pertinence and relevance are essential for emphasis, and this is how we train our brain. All ties together, right? You know, I saw this when I was playing World of Warcraft, right? At that time, well, still World of Warcraft is huge, but at that time it was the 10-ton gorilla. It was King Kong of games, right? I mean, they had 10 million subscribers every single month. And the next nearest largest game at that time had maybe 100,000. So, so for a long time, for about a 10-year period, World of Warcraft ruled gaming. And there's 100 million people, Americans, are aware of World of Warcraft. Even if they've just signed on, checked it out, they've made a name. I checked this up, right? I looked it up because they keep a track, because you can only have one, you have to have a unique name. So they have a record. They put out the statistics of this, how many names there are, right? 100 million. So it's a really powerful thing. But the point I wanted to make was that when I watched people play, they learned how to write macros, which is coding, right? Because why, you could use macros in game to make your game play quicker. Like me, I had a 1-button macro. I pressed the 1 button and it would shoot all my things in order and do all this. And I had high DPS and it was awesome, right? But I had to learn that in order to play. And I saw people doing real work, real learning of stuff they never, ever would have bothered with in order to play the game better. So this is what we mean with play and pertinence and relevance, right? That learning to code, it had pertinence and relevance. It helped me in my game, helped me in my DPS. So I was motivated to do it. Didn't matter, right? If without that, I'm like, oh, what the hell do I need this for? I don't care. It's just totally irrelevant to me. And there were so many things like this. I mean, people learned to speak better, to communicate better, because, well, they needed to do this in order to play together with other people, in a raid, you're in a group and all this stuff, right? And they had to learn patience. They had to learn awareness. Don't stand in the fire. You can Google, don't stand in the fire. And I promise you, you'll probably get a World of Warcraft reference, right? If you take the quote, don't stand in the fire. Literally, people would stand in fire. They're burning, and they don't realize it because they don't look down. They're not literally, their awareness is too focused on the objectives. They don't see what's going on around them. Tunnel vision. Profound. So in this gameplay, people transformed. They became more sophisticated, more adept, more evolved human beings simply because of their desire to play. So when we understand this, our nincompoop side, we can leverage it, we can use it, right? And when we realize play is the best way to learn, very profound, right? So when you take those warriors, like the SEALs, to them it's play, it's a big game, but it's also a very serious game. Yeah, that's where the fear comes in. To say, yes, I'm treating this as a game and I'm having fun. However, at the same time, it's serious, right? So I'm responsible and I'm playing both at the same time. Yeah, very powerful. Very, very, very powerful. Connecting back to our self-leverage. When we regard ourselves as an agent of the universe, for instance, the end results of the heightened attention and awareness are real. Knowing it's self-leverage makes no difference. Neither does knowing it's a form of play. We obtain the very real benefits of motivation, energy, and interest. And of course, also have fun and connect to joy. So simply because we know, we are consciously aware that we are deliberately employing self-leverage, doesn't change the value that results from this potentially artificial thing that we do. Makes no difference, right? We may know that we are pretending to be an agent of the universe. We can't know for sure it's not true. May just be. But it doesn't matter. Even if we did know, it doesn't mean I'm not going to get value. I can be aware it's not real and still get value. This is our magic as a warrior. We get value whether things are true or not, either way. Yeah. Very powerful, very, very powerful strategy. Very, very powerful. Oh, look at that field of the flowers, yeah. Mhm. Too beautiful, too beautiful. As an agent, we're going to build our toolbox of skills. Not only fill that toolbox, but practice, refine, and hone those skills to make us a hyper-trained super agent capable of dealing with any situation. We've already added a few. Pause here to recap them and check your toolbox. Code name, Dictionary of Power. Make sure it's in a separate file and we'll go over yours in the live takeaway session. All right. So on that, let's go through your Dictionary of Power and let's just hear what you've got in there.
I gotta find the file. I also know I still have to add so much into it.
That's all right. It's all right. So this is a good thing too, to make sure that you can access that file and that it is available. It's a very important file that needs to be handy always.
I know
Right?
that there's a lot of words that I gotta put in there too, a lot of phrases.
Yeah. And we'll do them. Don't get behind. Don't get behind. Don't get behind.
No, I
Just do it right
won't. I
now.
just,
Oh,
yeah, I won't get behind on it. I just
oh,
gotta,
good. Okay. Okay.
hold on.
Very exciting. Very, very exciting. You know what? I need some music here. I like music. Music is important. Huh. Huh. The music that's playing is from a game, from the Elder Scrolls. Very interesting.
See if this one says. It's not it. Mhm. Sorry, I'm trying to look through and find.
No problem. Take your time. Take your time. I got patience. Lots of it. Mhm. Raining, yeah. We had incredible rain. It's like we're living in a different part of the world this winter. It's too fantastic.
I bet.
Oh, it's wonderful.
It's not allowing me to get into it because I have to pay on my subscription. So I'm gonna find my notebook 1 second.
Okay, your subscription for?
My Word document that I use.
Oh. You know what you can do is you can get a free program like Microsoft Word that will open those files, either OpenOffice or LibreOffice, either one of the two. You can get it for free, and it'll
I don't think
open
I
all
have
your Excel files, all your Word files. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You just Google it,
I'm gonna have to
OpenOffice
do
or
that when I can.
LibreOffice. Either way. Say again.
Yeah, I'll have to do that when I have to go through my computer and
Gotcha.
clean a bunch of stuff out too.
Yeah,
It's one
yeah.
of those where it's like
Okay, so
still has
then
all
then
those. But
I got
I'm
another
gonna go through.
suggestion for you. Then that's very helpful. It's a program called to get the exact name here, a Revo uninstaller, right? REVO, and use that to clear stuff from your computer, because it will take out all the extra files and stuff that you don't want. It does a very thorough job. It's really good, and you just the free version's all you need. A Revo uninstaller, and use that to clear crap out of your system. Very useful. Right?
Yeah, I'll have to do that. I'll write that down.
Yeah, yeah. And then get either OpenOffice or LibreOffice. I think LibreOffice maybe of the two has a bit of an advantage. I don't remember why, but that's the one I'm currently using. So, and it's nice. You can open any Excel file, any Word file. You can save anything as a PDF and so on and so forth. And it's free. It's free. It's to counter Microsoft Office and this exact thing that you have, that you can't access your files because you didn't pay your subscription. I mean,
So
your file is saved as a docx file, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
but
So then you can open it.
it's not. It's being stupid.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's just it's wasting money. There's absolutely no need to pay for it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've been using this for, I don't know, decades now. So it's been around for a while. Very powerful, very powerful.
There's so many different notebooks.
Hey, Natalie.
But she's not awake yet.
Oh,
There's just a lot of different like notebooks. I have to condense everything. It's so crazy. Okay,
go
so
slow, go slow, go slow, go slow. We're not in any hurry.
so certain things that are in my dictionary of power. One is the awful truth. The reason why I put that as my dictionary of power is because the awful truth isn't always something that is a bad thing.
The awful truth isn't always what?
Isn't always a bad thing. It's never a bad thing,
Correct.
actually.
It's never a bad thing.
So
There is exactly.
it's bringing to light things that yeah may or may not feel uncomfortable, but either
Exactly.
way, it's the truth. And
Yeah.
really, not
Yeah.
really many people, including ourselves, want to even hear the truth, even if it's from our own selves. So saying it's actually a good thing because it makes you more aware
Yeah.
of what's going on.
Yeah.
One phrase I did put and I continuously put is the world doesn't work the way I think it does.
Yeah.
To me, that is I put phrases as well as words in there. Reason being is because they are important to me. Um, the three managements that I find very important to me right now is that I have found for a while too is energy, mood, and time management.
Yes. 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 That pacing is time management. Exactly. And changing your
Yes,
voice is changing your pacing. You don't have to rush though. Yeah.
time. Well, pacing is under time management, but it's also under energy management as well. Um, of course, your usual power of choice is another one that's in there.
Yes. Yes. To be deliberate. With the awful truth, by the way, Donna always used to say, but the truth can never be awful. She objected to this term. Because I don't like this term and I refuse to use it. Well, again, it's a bit of an oxymoron because yes, it's highlighting a distortion. Of course, when you start to live in truth, there is no such thing as an awful truth. It's always all good. But it's a starting point. We unfortunately get caught up in a distortion where we believe there's such a thing as an awful truth. Yeah.
Yes. The other one is selfishness.
Yes.
Being
Selfishness is a
selfish.
virtue. Yeah.
Yes.
Capital S, selfishness is a virtue because you learned
Yes.
it's that decompression logic. Yes. Did you put decompression logic in there?
Yes. Decompression logic is in there. Um, Habits with a capital H.
Yes.
That one is in there. And of course, impeccability, intent,
Yes.
discernment, understanding, awareness. Emphasis is also in there, with a capital E, not a lowercase e, because lowercase e, you're putting emphasis on things that are counterproductive. Capital E, I'm putting emphasis on things that are going to be productive for me as well as productive for my way of life and healing. De-emphasizing for me is taking away the significance of a certain situation or person, or even maybe a feeling or a thought, like a shadow thought. De-emphasizing those shadow thoughts is big for me. Effect and reward, what I put underneath that effort and reward. What I put underneath that is the effort worth the reward?
Yes. Yes. It's always a good question.
Yep. Also, I put in there the slippery slope concept.
That's very important.
Yes.
Very key.
Unhooking. So I put unhooking there, but then I put next to it from defaults of habits, lowercase h, misbeliefs, and false self-conceptions.
Yes.
So self-conceptions was on there, but I lowercase the self-conceptions.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Whereas self-conceptions now is uppercase.
Oh yes, now it's capitalized. Now it's a power conception. So on this point, somebody just saying here that they're struggling, and they attract the wrong stuff in their lives, and they're 72 and flat broke, and they need dental work and rent and stuff like this. So they're struggling, right? And so I said, I understand this, right? And I said, the key, as I see it, and I see evidence of this every single day, is our deep underlying expectations. Now, this applies to self-conception as well. Those beliefs, which are so deep, they become expectations, thus also become intent and descriptions of our world. It seems we need the radical to press us into the desperation needed to try what seems foolish to us, which is to trust in what we believe to be unrealistic in inverted commas. Yeah. Like we really know what's realistic, again, in inverted commas. I feel so arrogant and at the same time still cling to my beliefs of reality. This is the daily lesson. We think we know how the world works and we don't have a bloody clue. We think we know how we work and we don't have a bloody clue. We think we know what we are, what we could be, and we don't have a bloody clue. Yeah? And we're so afraid of being arrogant and egotistical, it limits us from connecting to our moreness.
It does.
Very powerful. Yeah. Let me add that in there.
Very, very.
I want to add this into the program here.
You know, in my dictionary of power, I have put patience with a lot of things.
Yes, patience is a superpower. Put that in there.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I put it with a lot of things too.
Oh yeah, patience is ridiculously potent. Ridiculously potent.
Apparently, I was trying to tell myself something.
Oh yes, pacing needs patience in order to be applied. Yes.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The other, the other one I did was independence of being.
Yes, independence
Beings.
of being. Oh, what a concept! What a concept! What a concept! Yeah.
Yes, next to it, next to it, I did put um relying on my own awareness, understand or awareness, discernment, and understanding, and breaking
Wonderful.
free from beliefs, mis self-conceptions, and I can't read that last word.
Oh,
Oh,
what?
yeah, I can't remember. I can't read the last word. The other ones I put were queuing, um, inadvertent queuing, and self queuing, and I put that all under um like same concept of um like what is your like with intent, basically making sure that I'm aware of both the queuing, inadvertent queuing, and self queuing. Because if you set your intent right, then you'll be able to queue with knowing that you're queuing. Trust without trusting.
Wonderful.
Perspective shifting.
Yes. Yes.
believing without believing, thinking it through to the end,
Yes. To
thinking
the
things through to the end.
yes. Yes. Got to shout it to the end. Yeah, yeah.
The concept with that one is I put when in doubt, zoom out.
Yeah. Very powerful. Very powerful.
I also put finding balance.
Yes. Yes. Balance is so critical. You know, if you were to just right now, right, do this, Jessica. You're sitting there, and then just move to the side a little bit like this. Move, a little bit more, a little bit more. Move your shoulders a bit more, a little bit more. Right, there you go. Now you're nicely out of balance, right? And this is like it takes a lot of energy to sit like this. No,
It does.
you see, now it's
Way
just a
too much.
simple example of why balance is so critical. Because when you're out of balance, it takes extra energy. But pay attention to how people are out of balance and how much energy they spend to maintain their out of balanceness as a balance. Yes. And what they have to do in order to find a new balance that's out of balance, but yet it's in balance. They have to compensate in gross ways. Yes. Like if you wanted to balance that out of balance, you'd have to find some support to put underneath there. You see what I mean? So artificial.
Yes, very much so.
Very profound, very profound. Very simple thing, but huge. To understand that balance isn't just a nice new age term. Yeah, it's
No, it's not.
directly related to impeccability, best use of energy. Being in balance is best use of energy. Duh. Okay. Still
Really quick, I
incredible.
came apart. Oh yeah, really quick, I came across something. It says let's start with the first question. So the question was, how often do the things I worry about and are anxious about actually happen the way I worried they might be? What are the actual statistics? How often do I check up on whether or not they turned out the way that I worried they would? So
Yeah.
let's start with the first question. Very rarely, if at all, do the things I'm worried about or anxious about actually happen the way I believed would happen. It's like a 9 out of 10 chance that things don't happen the exact way or even close to it. I very rarely check up on the things that may or may not have happened.
Say the last part again, please.
I very rarely check up on things that may or may have not happened. In reality, that's different now.
Wonderful. 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 Wonderful.
Because things that, like, I catch myself, I'm actually more aware of, like, the times that I actually do worry.
Oh,
And I'm like,
very good.
really? Like, what's the point in me worrying about this? Like, where is it going to get me?
Exactly.
It's
Exactly. And when
causing
we
me.
start to ask that question, we've now changed and transformed. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because it really, like, you're really not going anywhere. It's like you're treading in quicksand
Yeah. Yeah.
instead of finding a solution.
Exactly.
You're too busy worried at the fact that you're
Exactly.
sinking.
Yeah.
So, really, like, so I'm just like, so I've got myself recently, probably within the last, say, 2 months. I want to say about 2 months. Really paid attention to things in my life throughout my days, like that has a potential to cause me unnecessary stress.
Yes. Unnecessary. Unnecessary. Yes. Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
you know, I have learned that it is easier to acknowledge that a certain something or situation, um, like, say for instance, I used to get so stressed out about like the situation with Cher and CJ or the financial
Yeah.
situation
Yeah.
or things like that. But once I stepped away and separated myself from what is going on between Cher and CJ and allowed them to take the course that they needed to take to learn
Yeah.
how to coexist with each other, how to better communicate with each other. Um,
Yeah.
I stopped getting stressed out and having it overtake my day to day life and activities. Um, when it comes to finances, it always works out. It never, you know, there's never a time that has not worked out the way it's supposed
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that too incredible?
to. But there goes in that with that trusting without trusting. I trust that it's going to work out, but I also need to put in the effort and the work to come up with the
Exactly.
solutions, like
Exactly.
budgeting
Exactly.
and
Exactly. Trust can only come about and happen. We are only justified in trusting when we've applied and we've taken action. In other words, when we've done everything that we can possibly do. In other words, when we've been impeccable. Then and then only can we trust. Other than that, you're using trust to bail you out. And it's bullshit, right?
it's complete and utter bullshit because you
Exactly.
can't. It's like just laying down and
Exactly.
saying
Exactly.
you have the reins now. Like you wouldn't give that control to a BMN. Why would
Exactly.
you just why would you just let things happen to
Exactly. 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 Exactly.
you? You know? And the world is full of BMNs.
Yeah. 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 I mean, it's the
um,
paradigm. BMN is the paradigm for the world. The world says to you when you grow up, this is what you need to be. Need. Need. This is what you should be. Is a BMN. Of course, they don't say it in that, but this is the old paradigm. So everybody's trying to
this
be a
is
BMN, sadly, right?
it doesn't work out in a lot of people's favors though, and it's
Exactly.
really crazy how
Doesn't work out in
like
anyone's favor.
because I decided I made the deliberate choice to become more aware of people and of their body language and their
Yes.
just what they're saying, what they're
Yeah.
not saying,
Yeah. You're an
things like
agent of the
that.
universe. Yeah.
Um, I have been able to like um help customers pinpoint what their uh, what their underlying issue is. So like some of them they're like, I have so much going on at night, when I go to lay down, my brain just races and it's like, I'm tired during the day, but the minute I settle down, it's like I'm wide awake. And I said, so I'll talk to him about it. I'm like, okay, so in our bodies naturally we have the endocannabinoid system and as free radicals in the air, in the food we eat, in the
Yeah.
water we drink, I mean in everything. Um it really starts to deteriorate the function of that
Yeah.
endocannabinoid system over time. So, like, when we were once able to fall asleep without a problem, we now need that extra assistance, hence why people use melatonin. However, you can actually overdose yourself on melatonin and
Yeah.
decrease the amount of dopamine in your system. So instead of doing that, you can take the melatonin completely out of the equation, the extra melatonin that your body literally does not need. And you can replace that with using a cannabinoid called CBN, which helps with the production naturally of your body's melatonin.
Interesting.
And the amino acids that are used with CBN, like in like a gummy or a tincture, help increase the dopamine naturally in your body or in your endocannabinoid system. So you're getting the reward effect, but also that balances out all of the serotonin, the melatonin, and the dopamine in your system.
Very interesting. Very interesting. So say again about the melatonin.
So taking melatonin over the counter, like things with melatonin in them, it
Yeah.
can actually cause a lack, your body, your brain to start to decrease in dopamine.
Ah, interesting.
You need the dopamine to be able to balance out both the
Yeah.
serotonin
Yeah.
and the melatonin. Because of that, you tend to
Yeah.
gravitate more towards foods that have they give that reward effect in the brain.
Interesting. Interesting.
And
I have
that's
some melatonin supplements. I find they're counterproductive.
they are.
They don't work. They actually make me more awake, not less.
Yep. The reason being is because they can at the same time. The reason being is because of things like that chemical imbalance of ADHD. You have a very high increase of the serotonin, which can cause an hyperactivity. Melatonin is going to do the opposite because it's a sedative, whereas stimulants can calm a person down, but also wake them
Right.
up.
My.
However, the
My life
more
is so full
caffeine
and
I
so
drink,
magical. I think, my brain is just probably overstimulated, which I don't mind. But
you
one of the side effects is that, it messes with your sleep a little bit. So,
it does. It
is what
does.
it is
So
what it is.
my
My brain
suggestion
got to
would
update. Listening?
right, my suggestion would be to incorporate CBN in your diet.
And what CBM?
And so
Oh,
CBN,
CBN.
yes,
Like in Charles, Barry, Nancy.
kind of. Okay, CBN. I have to find. Okay,
I mean, do I have the right letters? Yes.
you have you have the right.
Okay.
You have the right
Okay. So
letters.
what foods would contain CBN?
It's a cannabinoid, so it's
Oh.
actually
Oh.
within the hemp plant, not the
Ah.
THC plant, the hemp plant.
Right. But I can't
Um,
eat it. I'll have to buy it in some form of like a supplement. Yeah.
yes,
Oh, okay. Okay.
but it's easy to buy because it's federally legal, so it can be shipped from anywhere. So what I can do is if you have a like a PO box or something, I
Well, I can
can
just ship it directly to here where I'm at.
okay, yeah. I can do that. I can actually get some for you, and I can ship some to you to try out.
All right. That would be most appreciated. That would
Yeah,
be
I
most
can do that.
appreciated. Hold on 1 second, and I shall send you my address. I have it handy
All
here.
right.
Jessica, there she is. All right.
Eating
And
foods with high amino acids too, um, like mushrooms. Um, oh, I have it all here. Hold on.
yeah, give me more because mushrooms, they don't work for me.
No, hold on. Let's see. Foods that are rich in high amino acids are cottage cheese. Cottage cheese is a protein-rich fruit that contains a significant amount of several amino acids, including here. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do?
Send me that list now. Just email it to me. Yeah.
This talks all about the amino acids and what's important with them and how they work with the body synergistically.
Oh, very good. Let me see. Hmm. Oh, C, not T. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I said C, but I wrote T. CBN. I'm just seeing if I can get any of it through the program that, the Vine program that I'm on with Amazon. No. Oh,
Um, if you look at here.
all right. Very good. Very good. I'll look at it afterwards. Yeah. Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Is that potatoes I see there? I hope so. I like potatoes. All right.
by the way, we ship anywhere in the US, and it would be like, you could also get the friends and family discount, but I can use my discount and send it to you.
Oh, okay.
So it would be significantly less than, like, yeah, we ship anywhere in the US.
All right. I do see supplements come up all the time there. So let me look to see if I can't find it there. I wasn't thinking that I could look there. So, I mean, like I'm getting some, maybe it even has something in it. Let me see what's in there. Uh, Hold on 1 second. I had them before. I get them because I really just like them. Let's see, apple cider vinegar gummies, and it's just the most delicious thing ever. But I don't
Oh
remember
yeah, they're really good.
what was in them there. It was natural immune support. Let me see. Maybe it has something similar in it.
There's a couple of things, I'll be right back. There's a couple of things I was going to show you that I use.
It's not saying what is in here. Yeah, it doesn't say what's in them. So they gave more info before. Why so little now?
Good question. So there are a couple of things that I use. This one.
Oh, it's ACV they have in. I don't know what ACV stands for.
ACV.
500 milligrams of
Um,
ACV per serving. Anyway, they're really delicious. But anyway, I'm just saying that I do get supplements, or I can get. I don't always get them. They have some stuff I have no idea what the hell it is. Like the things that I have for the melatonin things. I got two different ones with it in. And like I said, I've tried them before.
oh
I had melatonin gummies, and it was like just take one or two. And I like saying this isn't working, and I was eating like 6 of them at a time, and Bino was freaking out. Oh, you can't over, you got doesn't make any difference, Bino.
yeah.
That doesn't make
No, I
any difference.
definitely. ACV stands for apple cider vinegar.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, I don't know what the benefits are of it, but I just like them because they're like sweets to me. So, all right, if it has some
They're
digestive
actually
benefit
really
and
good with
immune.
yep. There's digestive, immune,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
also
that's what they say.
it
Yeah.
helps. It helps your body rid itself of free radicals that are in the environment.
Okay.
So, this is the other one that I use.
Oh, all right. Yeah, 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 yeah. So I'll look in that and see. CBD. I must search for CBD. Their search function is kind of sucks, but uh, well, sometimes I find stuff.
Yeah.
Otherwise there's hundreds of things to look through, thousands. I do sometimes go through all of it. It takes a lot of time, unfortunately. So,
One thing that I do want to make you aware of
uh,
is when you're looking for anything, make sure, yeah, you definitely read the ingredients. It has to have everything in it, but it also needs to have what they call MTC coconut oil. It's actual oil from the coconuts.
ah,
So
NTC.
MTC is Mary Thomas
M
Cat.
MTC. Okay, Mary Thomas Charlie. All right.
Charlie, all right.
Listen to the rain. Listen to the rain.
I love rain.
It is really truly like just completely out of it. I mean, it's been steadily raining all night, which, out here, this is just not common. Yeah.
No, it's not. Yeah, they don't even. I'm a little iffy about some of these.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye open if I see anything at all. Okay, so here's a Dr. Emil Nutrition Daily Energy Supplement. Let's see what this is. Sugar-free energy pills, 160 caffeine, guarana extract, L-taurine, and L-theanine. So, all right.
That's so weird.
What's that? Did you say that's so weird?
Well, because no, not what you said. It was something different completely.
Okay. So it also has vitamins B3, B6, B12, as well as L-taurine and L-theanine.
Those are good.
Yes. Oh, okay. And it has guarana and caffeine in it. Oh, I think I'm
So
gonna get
yeah, it
this.
has
I think I'm gonna get
the good
this.
amino acids in it too.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. All right. So that's one.
But like,
Yeah, it doesn't cost me anything. So, well, I have to pay something on it a little bit, but still, it's like I don't have to pay it now, pay taxes on it later.
yeah.
Oh, here's another one. Oh, okay. So there's a bunch of different stuff that's come up now. Oh, wow, wow. Okay. Oh, that's for dogs. Okay. Magnesium lotion.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yes, another life infused vitamin, supercharged. Let's see, what is it? Hang on, I'll read you this things in a second. Let me just load it here. Vitamin D3 and K2 supercharged with zinc and enzymes to maintain healthy immune system, bone health, emotional well-being, etc. Free of artificial ingredients, gluten, wheat, dairy, fish, soy, and preservatives. Wow, that's got nothing in it then.
Um.
Ingredients: vitamin
Also,
D3, vitamin K2, and zinc, and astrazyme lipid. Yeah. I don't know with this stuff. I take it. I never see much difference, but anyway, I am taking
I
berberine
just.
and CoQ10. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're fine. Go ahead. You are
That's it.
taking berberine and cocaine. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I did send you the three main cannabinoids that are in the hemp plant, which is CBD, CBG, and CBN. Um, CBG is really, really good for mental clarity and energy.
Okay. I'm gonna search for those in a moment.
Oh yeah, no, you're fine. Um, and usually they don't always come separately. They come in a pair. So like this one has like a CBD, CBG 1-to-1.
Oh,
It's gonna be your best bet if you do it in a pair like that. It's what they call um starts with an E.
all right. So here is something interesting. Let's see. Just amazing. I searched supplements and Then I didn't get much. One thing. Supplements, plural, and I got a bunch. You'd think any decent search would do that. So it's vitamin, nothing, vitamins, something came up.
That's funny.
It's just how it is, the stuff doesn't make. So this is Absolutrix boswellia extract, right? Serrata resin, natural products help support joint health. All right, let's see. Yeah, I got a thing in my hip. Well, sometimes they don't say what's in here.
Yeah, that's scary. I wouldn't want to take anything that doesn't say what's
Well,
in it.
they say it on the bottle, but they don't necessarily say it in the ads. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just people selling the things, not the people who make it necessarily. So, the seller isn't that. This is drops. So let's see if we can find out here. Sometimes it's in the pictures. And give a list of ingredients. Oh. Oh. Mm. Mm. Ah.
After this, I do have to get
Yeah, it is time. Matthew should be here any second now anyway, so.
going. Okay. Well, thank you. It was a joy as always.
Always, always, always. So we'll continue next week with the self-conception stuff. There's more to come there. So this is very powerful, just what we did go through. And I recommend that you go over it yourself, of course, and do some takeaways and pull-outs there. Like look, for me, I got 2 powerful takeaways, things that came up, come up takeaways. So very powerful stuff, just connections and morenesses and understandings and all of that. So very, very powerful.
Yep.
Yeah,
Sure.
I'm not finding what's in this stuff here. So anyway, it's something to look for. I'll keep those the to search for stuff and see, to find some cannabinoids of some kind. That would be good. Yeah.
Yes, they would be.
Yeah.
There's a lot of benefits to them.
Yeah. So I searched for CBN. Let me search for CBD. And then CBG.
Well, I'm gonna let you go for now.
Brilliant. All right, you just be brilliant and really pay attention to your voice. There's a great lesson in here for you. I mean, I see how it's changing your physicality. I've never seen you look so relaxed in your neck and shoulders as today. Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
Yeah. So there's power. There's power in this anomaly of the voice. Yeah, there's power in it. There's power in it. All right, Jessica. Wonderful. Bye-bye. Too brilliant. Bye-bye, Jessica. Bye-bye.